What's up, y'all? It's your girl HD.
And it's Brian Patrick Davis, the POA, reporting live from 285.
And it's your girl, DJ A Star.
And we are
The Crew Love Show. Oh, yeah.
no, I'm sorry. They over here shooting fireworks, and I just got scared. Okay, anyway. So today we have a very everybody special to me.
Yes, very well.
I feel like if you're on this show,
Do you know that they say that if everybody's special, no one's special?
Okay, so this one is like
Be special.
I don't know, the best.
We have a special guest today.
Now she's special again.
She's special to me. I've known her the longest.
Go ahead, Brian. Go ahead.
Tahira.
Hey.
Yay. Hi, Tahira. Y'all, I literally have known this woman for so long.
Tell us your age.
Yes.
No, don't tell. No.
Come on, Brian. Tell us how old you are.
No.
We've just lived many lives.
Many
That's all I'll
lives.
say.
Many lives since we've known each other.
Many lives.
Not
Yes.
in multiple circles. Like,
We have.
Olympics.
We're young enough to still be fly,
Okay.
but old enough to have eras attached to our name.
To have wisdom.
There's some
Yes.
eras, you know.
Yeah, there
every
definitely-
life should have eras.
But you know what? Tahira, that's perfect that you said that. I want you to talk about not just what you do now, but talk about those eras that led up to you becoming the Tahira that everybody sees, everybody knows, everyone loves.
Listen, I don't know if everybody knows, but definitely the Black beauty world
Yes.
knows. And I'm a person that if the culture feels me and they know me, then I'm good. I'm
Yes.
good. But yes, founder of The Cut Life. For those that are familiar, we've been on social media since 2013. So this is our 10-year anniversary.
Wow,
this
that's
year.
crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
That's crazy.
Oh yes, I love the sound effect. I love a good sound effect.
Yes.
And it started off being about short hair and just inspiration for that.
Because you did a big chop, correct?
I did. Actually, when I was in college and my first haircut was horrible and I grew it back out, but then Rihanna, the Rihanna
Yep.
rain that won't let up
Uh-huh.
was going on. And I said, okay, now I think I have a cut that I want to try. And I tried it again and wore my hair short for nearly 10 years.
Yeah, you did.
It's long now, but that was just due to the pandemic and letting it grow. And now I'm just kind of in a playful phase. But people follow The Cut Life primarily for short hair inspiration, Black hairstyles overall, and hairstylists that contribute to the looks that you see. 1.5 million followers and counting.
Hey, listen.
So
Chopper.
Big
little,
thing.
little
Yeah.
dance for that.
Insights on facts.
But yeah, Brian, who has known me for a very long time, he met me when I was publicist Tahira.
Yes.
And he was behind the scenes, not in front of the camera with the microphone.
No.
We shall not name media outlets because unless they're cutting a check to sponsor this podcast,
I mean,
yes,
y'all, you know,
connect
they
the
could.
dots.
Right.
If you know, you know.
Yes.
But yeah, we connected working in the music and entertainment scene in Atlanta. Brian on the media side, me on the PR side. So obviously it's a marriage made in heaven.
Let me tell you something. If you was outside, you was gonna see Tahira. Tahira was always outside, nigga. It didn't matter. During that time, Tahira, I feel like we were seeing each other at least once a week.
Yes. But that was my outside era.
Yeah, it was. That was my outside era too. But we were
Yes.
literally seeing each other all the time.
Everywhere. And it's crazy, everyone has a start. And a lot of people ask, like, how did you even get into PR, working in that lane? I went to Georgia State University. Go Panthers.
Okay,
Georgia State.
Go Panthers.
Real GSU.
Yes. And interned at Radio 1, Hot 107.9 to be exact.
Yes.
So I come from the era of Ryan Cameron and
Cameron.
Emperor Cersei.
Yes.
Miss Shanika, Rashawn
Yes.
Ali.
Yes.
Like all the people. And from there, spent about a year or so there. Worked like I was getting paid. I know sometimes people aren't doing that nowadays, but worked like I was getting paid and I was not. And then went on to intern for Little John's B&Me recording. So the whole start of the crunk era, I was right there.
Right there.
That's why you was outside. Look.
Little Scrappy, Crime Mob, Trillville, the whole thing. And I can't say Crime Mob without shouting out my sister, my actual sister, Aisha, who wrote and created Stilettos.
Pumps. Fun fact.
And
Whoever thought that these girls would get crunk? We rocking stilettos, ho.
but
Wrote it
wait.
with Princess and Diamond.
The record-
So shout out to my girl.
Let's put it out there because Diamond just dropped this gem on another podcast. Shout out to the progress report. The record was already made, right?
Oh,
And-
Princess. Yeah.
Yes, she just said it that the record was already made, but one person didn't want to get on the record because
Yes.
it wasn't produced.
It was
by,
a production situation.
Yep.
So Princess, her brother Little J is a producer.
Yep.
And so she has an ear for music. Both of them do. My sister created the track with a friend of ours that's a producer and created the concept, for the hook and everything and presented it. They weren't too keen on the track, but they were interested in the lyrics. So they redid the track and Stilettos was born. On the original album version, I believe my sister has a verse on there.
You see what I'm saying?
So,
Like,
yeah.
this is
So it's like we Atlanta herstory.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
We love that.
That's our herstory.
We love that.
Yeah, so and I could do a whole podcast about that whole story, but I just wanted to, give a quick shout out. But yeah, worked over there. Orlando McGee was the marketing director at the time, so I worked under him. And just built really great relationships. My first paying job was an assistant to my boy Motown Lee, who was managing 8 Ball and MJG at the time.
Yeah.
So I was deep in them Southern rapping
Yes.
roots. Okay,
Yes.
worked with him as an assistant, booking flights and doing all the things, and worked in corporate for a little bit, executive assisting, office managing, hated it. And while I was doing that, people that I interned with previously, specifically Hot 107.9, they knew I had a PR background, and they said, hey, we're doing Birthday Bash, and we need a publicist. Our budget isn't big, but do you want to take a stab at it? So I'm at my job at the time, creating press releases. And actually, no, let me take it back. That wasn't even the first event. I'm going to see how Atlanta y'all are. I don't know who's from here and who's
We
not.
all are
all
from
of us.
here.
We're all
Okay,
Atlanta.
so if you are Atlanta, then you know about the Heal the Hood concert.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
During Hurricane Katrina time.
Absolutely, yeah.
So
Like, I
my
was hella
first
young.
paid big PR job wasn't even paid. It was just an opportunity to do PR for the Heal the Hood concert at what was Phillips Arena
Arena
at the
at the
Yeah,
time.
that's what I'm saying,
yes.
Yes. And so,
How old?
but it was a great opportunity. Because it was for charity. We were raising money to help people, that were dealing with that at the time. But then it was also a great look for me because every major artist in hip hop
coming
that
through,
was
they had to
popping,
come in contact with you.
they were their
Yep.
people had to come in contact. It was an easy way to get all the Atlanta media on my list. So that's really where it started. And just saying, hey, I'll do this for free. I'm good at organizing the people and just made it happen. And then from there, press for Birthday Bash happened for several years. The Dirty Awards.
Wow.
Yes. And I'm probably aging myself.
No,
by
you're not.
You
No.
might, in my head, I'm thinking about.
She's like, let me add it up. She's like, that's 2000.
I know exactly what a grade I was in. Look.
You know, not what grade. See?
But see, to hear what you're saying though, it's so funny. Like, this has kind of been a theme of this show, like talking about people that have like really like come up and like paid their dues, like really started at a level where it was like, yeah, nigga, I'm finna do this shit for free. And it's crazy because like the people that I know that I fuck with, like the greatest people, they all started off telling that story. Like one of my mentors, Ethiopia.
Yes, Ethiopia.
She started that same way. She was working for free, trying to be around the people that she wanted to be like. And she was the youngest black female president label. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like,
beyond.
yeah.
Yes.
So it's, I love that you can tell that story about like how you started working, but not really working because you wasn't getting paid,
Right.
but you was working like you was getting paid.
And that's where it's the proof in the passion for what you do. When you're able to do it and not get paid. And do I agree that you should not get paid forever? And hell no. You know, get your money.
Yeah.
But you know, there's no clear-cut entryway into what we do. Entertainment, I mean, there's so many roads to what you want to do, so many ways to discover it. And, you know, at that time, you know, as a college student starting out interning, I had ideas in my head of what I wanted to do, but there was no way for me to really know until I was in there and getting the actual experience. And that's what, you know, led me to know, okay, I think I like this, but I don't like this. And, oh, I didn't even know this job existed until I got, you know, in the mix of it all. And at the time, PR was just a way to satisfy all my loves. I could be, you know, on photo shoots and video shoots. You know, I can deal with the media, like all different things, work with the talent. So it kind of, you know, satisfied everything. But I guess if we fast forward, you know, anyone that's worked in music specifically. I'm going to be specific. Because TV, film, music, these are different areas.
They're all different beasts.
And music in Atlanta, I mean, we definitely have been reigning for quite some time, which I love, and I'm proud of my contribution, you know, to that. But it was also, you know, it can be draining. It can be tiring.
And fickle as well.
And I was at a point, you know, around 2013 when the Cut Life came up, where, you know, Instagram was becoming more of a thing. You're hearing about influencers, like what's an influencer, like all of that. And I don't know, I just was looking at content online. I didn't see a lot about short hair specifically. And I wanted something that I could look at to see which styles I wanted to rock. And that's really how the page got started. And it took me about a year to simultaneously still do PR and build the page before I completely left PR in 2014. Oh, and I got a shout out. I can't tell the story without even running it back to some of my favorite clients from the PR days, because when I have the platform, you got to speak on the people that you love.
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
So LudaDay Weekend, I also did PR for LudaDay Weekend for 7 years.
Yes.
So yes, met so many great people. Ludacris is one of the most amazing clients I've ever worked with. Super professional. Anytime you get a chance to be in his presence, you're going to learn something. And you know why he has longevity when you meet him, and you realize that really quickly. And Shaka Zulu, who I love.
Shout out to Shaka.
Shout out to Shaka. He's my big brother. He raised a lot of us in Atlanta and put a lot of us on.
Absolutely.
So I always have to pay my respect to him. And my manager, Aisha Obafemi, who's Shaka's sister.
We love Aisha. We love Aisha. Shout out Aisha.
You know, she is a boss, you know, in her own right. I love her dearly. And also and the whole family, Jeff, Jay, everyone over there, they know I love them, you know, to the death of me. I love them. So Keshia Knight Pulliam also was one of the clients that I worked with on the talent side in acting. That was like my premier client that I worked with mostly. And at one point, I was her publicist and her assistant. So I was traveling with her everywhere.
You was doing the most.
Doing the utmost. But learned so much from her. So, you know,
y'all, why was she saying Keshia Knight Pulliam? In my mind, I saw Keisha Lance Bottom.
Oh, my gosh. But you know what? It was crazy when my hair was short and she was running for the mayoral race. People used to always ask if I was related to her.
So maybe that's why she got it.
That's
how they got it. That's how she got the job.
And I got the chance to meet her and everything, but it was just like, we're not everyone, you know, fair skin with, you know, short hair is not related. But she's beautiful. I'm not mad at her.
Of course not. Yeah, we're not mad at Keshia.
But ain't nothing about me political.
Right.
I do vote, but
no, for real, that's it.
You know the issues.
I know the issues,
but you're not trying to be a part of them.
No. I'm not. Suit and tie is not my vibe
Us
at all.
either.
But yeah, Keshia Knight Pulliam, so amazing. And I think, you know, that era, you know, I guess that grind era, you know, outside era, grind era, was definitely, it was like my graduate school. Like my mom always wanted me to go to graduate school. I don't know why. I was like, you know, when you're in entertainment, anyone who's in it knows. Your parents are always like, so what else are you gonna do?
Right.
So what's the next move?
Let me
they
tell
don't
you something.
understand.
That's so funny that
Until
you
you
say
start
that to
making a
your
little
And then they be
money.
like, oh,
or until they see you on TV.
Right. See you with somebody. And they're like, oh,
that's what
this
my
is
dad,
real.
you know, because my dad is an educator. And so that was when my dad was like, oh, okay. Like, I remember somebody flew me somewhere to do something on BET. Like, they were doing this, you know, when I was working for that publication that we were talking about, they did like a special on us. And my dad was like, oh, okay. So you do be doing something with your life.
You got a little work going on.
I was like, no, Dad, you don't have to pay for me to go to New York. They're putting me up. He was like, oh, people actually want to talk to you?
Yes. Listen. And then, you know, you have the other people who see those opportunities that you're getting and think that it's all glamour. That's the flip side. And they realize, you know, it's 80% all of the work that you don't see and 20% glamour. But, you know, it'll test you.
Yeah.
But that's how you know if you're in the right space and doing what you love. But again, you know, I got to a point where I'm like, I know there's more that I'm supposed to be doing. And I wanted something of my own. I feel like all of my time was about everyone else's brand and everyone else's agenda, you know, or objective, I should say. And I'm like, okay, so what do I want? So it was really a hobby that turned into a business because at the time I had a friend, Kimberly Walker, who was a copywriter in the beauty world.
Okay.
And she saw me start the Instagram page. She's like, you know, being my little friend, like, okay, this is cute or whatever. And once she started the traction come, I think we were only at maybe 1,500 followers. So that myth of you have to have a lot of followers to have engagement or partnerships is not true. But she was like, you know what? I see something with this. It's a niche because natural hair is like the thing, but there's really not a space for the short hair girls, the pixies, the
Nobody's
blonde.
talking about
no
it.
one's
Nobody's
talking about it. So she had a brand that I will not name because they're not giving us a check for the
Crew Love show. Right.
Unless they
But
want
yeah, they sponsored my first event. And so when I saw that, oh, a brand will actually pay to be a part of something that I'm doing and let me kind of rock and do me, I'm like, oh, there's something here.
When did you feel that transition from it being a hobby to a business? Like, how long did that take?
I would say probably within the first 6 months of starting.
Oh, that's quick, though.
Because I was getting, I mean, one was the engagement was crazy. You could tell there was a need because the engagement was moving at a really, really rapid pace. I mean, we hit 100,000 like within months. It was kind of nuts. And then, you know, brand partnerships, brand interest. I mean, there was a solid few years where I don't think I ever pitched a brand.
Oh, wow.
They were just coming, you know, saying, hey, this is a space for our products to live that we didn't have anymore. Or even stylists saying, hey, you know, everyone's DIY, but we're not getting the love as licensed stylists. But you're showing our work and helping us, you know, get more clientele or increase their social media exposure. So they started advertising. So that became another lane to create revenue. And it's just grown from there. And 10 years later, now I'm still like in a place of pivoting into more that we can talk about, but I'm gonna let you guide the conversation.
No,
I'm just so amazed because let me
go.
tell y'all, I remember like finding the Cut Life on Instagram years ago, and I was so excited because my mama had short hair. She's always had short hair, but she specifically had short hair at this moment, and I went home like, Mom, look at these hairstyles. And even literally a month ago, I'm cutting my hair.
Ooh,
No,
the hell you
I'm going to get a bob. Yes, the fuck I am. But my inspiration picture is from the Cut Life.
I love it. I love it. So now we got to post the before and after with the inspo.
You're right. I
swag.
gotta get my actual
We got to have a
hair.
whole
Yes.
content situation.
We're going
Yes,
to
make
do
it a
that.
moment.
And HD, she is the queen of content.
I love it.
She is one of the most most talented I don't like to call you a videographer. I like to call you a filmmaker.
Oh, I'll take it.
Yes.
She's one of the most talented filmmakers / videographers that I've ever met. So fast,
thanks, Brian.
so really knows how to tell a story with under 15 seconds. Like she's
do, baby.
and
I'm like
Ace is
mental note because it's
No,
all
for real.
content over
Listen,
here.
yes.
So, let's
and
see,
Ace is also queen of content as well.
Social media
guru. She
Love
is
it.
all of those things.
Yes.
So
The
she
cool
not
up isn't playing.
She not cutting her hair though. She might cut.
I'm definitely cutting my shit.
You might miss the ponytail on those easy days.
It is not the pony. I'm cutting for the lifestyle. Okay. I feel like it has to go at some point. And
so what look are we going
Tahira,
for?
do not
I
believe
need
none of this.
Okay, that shit.
I'll indulge. Because I'll indulge.
You're wasting your time. You're wasting your time.
Bow Wow, but Bow Wow, Omarion, let me hold you.
Oh, okay,
That's my hair that I'm looking for. So
Okay.
a good, be able to jump in the shower, wash, condition.
Little mousse gel it go.
Okay,
Yes.
Okay, but
Easy
Tahira,
breezy.
look at what Ace's hair looks like.
She's
when
not
it's
gonna cut that
done.
shit.
Oh,
She's
that
one of
hair-
those
your hair is
girls.
gorgeous.
She's not cutting that hair.
Your hair is.
But the cut light was on
gorgeous.
my podcast and my show, so
Hey, who knows? Maybe it's divine.
I mean,
birthday coming
Maybe
up.
Tahira told you before that she can hook
Recommend.
you up with some stylists.
Yeah.
But you know,
So look.
the content around anyone wanting to cut my hair is going to be crazy. Just because if it's the big hair and people go crazy over the big hair. If I have the big hair out and I'm like, hey, y'all want to cut it, the internet is going to go wild.
No, absolutely. I want to be there.
But
Anyway.
I do
Look,
want
the
to
Cut
talk about
Life
what they
Chronicle.
right. I do want to talk about Crew Love and like what our show is about. And obviously it's about the behind the scenes. We're very much behind the scene creative, celebrities to the celebrities. And like that resume, that LinkedIn profile rundown receipt that you just did.
Tahira don't do
Let me tell you.
LinkedIn.
No, I'm just telling you, girl.
I
I'm
just
saying
got
the
back
list.
on LinkedIn like days ago.
I'm over here.
But
do it.
I was like, I felt like I should be on there, but then I'm still not certain.
I'm the same way,
why.
but I just.
But if LinkedIn wants to like partner and give me reasons
we
why I
go.
should stay,
Ace, do you have a LinkedIn?
Of course. I have a LinkedIn. I run somebody's LinkedIn. I run 4 pages on a LinkedIn. So, yeah, I have it. But I'm just talking about the resume alone because, baby, you're in this thing now. And let me tell you how young and old I am. I have the ticket from the concert that I was awarded. I was trying to find out my email. I can't find it. But I remember getting the ticket and, like, something happening. Couldn't go. But my parents thought I was at that concert.
Which one? The
concert?
Heal the Hood?
Right.
Yeah, Heal the
Oh.
Hood.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So I won. I must have called in or something.
You were
and I
probably
won
like
them.
4.
No, I was damn near
I
about
had to
fucking
be-
4.
Like right before high school, like probably 8th grade.
Wow.
And I won the
I was definitely
tickets
in elementary school.
from the radio station, so I called in and I won them. But whatever happened, my ride or like the other person that got to go with me, my parents were like,
Fell
"You can
through.
go with who?" They wanted to go do some family things, so we went to like the family party. And they're like, "Oh, we're gonna go." And so the
y'all
adult that was
missed
supposed
it.
to take us never took us.
Wow.
And so I can remember like this is probably like what MySpace, Facebook days.
and that was a
Facebook.
free.
That was a free concert.
Yes, but you had
Crazy in there.
to get the which call.
You had to get the tickets.
And
yeah.
what I would see all the artists get popping up on the Facebook. I'm like, why are we there? Because like this is right before like streaming had like really started.
Right.
But like they had some way that like was like live or something. Like you could still see it. And I was watching it happen and I was like sick. Like I should be there.
Aw.
But-
Yeah, it
But you know
that
what,
was a
Tahira?
crazy moment.
You know what never occurred to me though, Tahira, is that you were in school while you were doing all of that shit.
A lot of it, yes.
That never occurred.
a
Like
lot
when
of
I would
it.
see
Yeah,
you,
yeah.
Yeah.
because I was in school too.
Mhm.
I just like
I was in class and then right to my internship, literally. Like I lived at Hot 107.9. Like I would just go to school, take my exams, do whatever I had to do.
Yeah.
Maybe on Tuesdays and Thursdays you'll catch me in the courtyard because you know it's a little movie and you know Tuesday and Thursday. Fun fact: T.I. and the whole Grand Hustle crew, he already had his first album out. With all my favorites, like Pussy Pumpin' #1, and all the things. But after that, he had a couple mixtapes that dropped after that because that first deal
with PSC and
yeah,
stuff.
it didn't do what it was supposed to do.
Yeah.
That and then he went. It was at the LaFace situation, and then so he ended up promoting on our campus. Like he would literally pass out mixtapes. He would have Country Kang and Mac Boney and all of them on campus. And it's funny because fast forward, I've worked with Hannah Kang on so many things. So it's just crazy, you know. And at that point, I didn't know them at all. And Nicole Garner, who you know, vet publicist in the game from Atlanta. Her and I went to Georgia State together. She was ahead of me. But we were in an entertainment club together. I think it was called Legacy Entertainment. I'm trying to remember. Okay, I think it was. But yeah, we did a whole like fashion show / concert situation. But the thing I remember most was that T.I. was our headliner.
Oh, wow.
He performed, and I remember Nick Cannon was randomly there with a hoodie on in the back of the venue. Like he just kind of, because at that time he was the big star. I think Drumline had already come out.
You know what's so crazy? I miss old Atlanta. Like I miss that.
That anybody could be in the room and it was cool. Yes. It wasn't like, it wasn't starstruck. Like, it was not. I remember walking up in Compound, had him in 14, X's on my hand, and hugging Rick Ross. Like, hugged him. He took pictures. What's up? How you doing? You
not
a
you
DJ?
was 14 at Compound screaming.
That's what I'm saying. But that's old Atlanta. It was so many people there. Like, the DJ was like, oh, let me play a Rick Ross record. It wasn't a big deal. Right. Like, there's been so many times, like, Dream. Like, and so, like, it's so many times where, like, Atlanta was just cool. And it was cool to be there. It was cool to be at the event. And it didn't matter. Like, you talking about LudaDay Weekend, like, I can only imagine, like, I never knew anything else.
It used to be crazy once a year. It's crazy.
Yeah, I didn't know anything else happened that weekend until, like, more recently. I'm like, oh, there's other events. Like, it's literally only been, and when it didn't happen, it would be like, dang.
I know, the pandemic messed it all up. And I'm so mad because when the pandemic happened in 2020, I think that was supposed to be year 15.
Oh, yeah, I was about to say
so it would have been so good, even if we were going to end it, to just end it at 15.
Y'all got to bring it back. Y'all can't bring it back.
I mean, there's been a lot of bring it back conversation, but listen, I'm spoiled now because the last few years I was a guest.
Yeah.
My boy Chris, he posted me on his Instagram and said, when he would announce, you know, the special guest and post them on his page. And then my manager, Aisha, was like, Tahira's going to be a special guest this year. So he did a post, but it was so nice. She was like, he wrote the caption and everything from his heart. And he was like, my girl Tahira, founder of The Cut Life. She's been down with me from the beginning.
Wow.
She was one, and he called me one of the masterminds behind LudaDay Weekend. I said,
look, come on, mastermind.
So, you know, I still had that post is near and dear to my heart. But yeah, it's interesting. Relationships, I think what everyone is saying, you know, like relationships are really the key to all of this.
100%.
Your work ethic for sure, showing up, and, you know, you have to perform well, be likable. I think some people don't say that a lot in this industry on panels and different things. Like, a lot of times people get hired because they like being around you.
I was literally talking about that the other day.
It gets so personal. I mean, I don't want to be at the bar
and you just sitting
on
there
a plane with someone and I don't vibe with you at all. It's not good.
Before, after.
I think what's important about what you just said is, like, those are the key points. It's like, first, you do have to, you know, be likable. People gotta want to be around you. But then when you're likable and you can show that you have the skill set,
execute.
People are like,
they love you.
Yeah. This is a fucking unicorn we've got here.
It's called being an asset.
Yes.
That's really what it is. And those relationships carry you. Because I definitely had, I guess, a bit of trepidation when I was going to put branded PR behind and go into the Cut Life, because you think, oh, are people going to rock with me if I'm not the gatekeeper for that? Because the PR girl holds the list. Yeah. We get you in the door. And a lot of times, you know, people may want to deal with you for that reason. But luckily for me, and I'll just say, I'm not even luck. I believe in blessings, not luck. But, you know, I realized that I'm the secret sauce. It's not what I do specifically, but people rocking with me as a person, and the support followed. They're like, oh, you're not doing PR anymore? Now, mind you, I've had a few people like, you're not gonna come out of retirement. But that conversation has stopped. Like maybe like 5, 6, 7 years ago, they stopped asking me because they're like, she's not ever coming.
She's
back.
But what if you did though? Oh,
just for like
shit.
one little for the LudaDay Weekend reunion.
It would have to
shade
be
to
a
hear
one-off situation.
Tahira,
The
no
LudaDay
shade, though.
Weekend
You
reunion.
you could literally bring back branded PR and not be doing none of the work. Like you
Yeah.
could
It could just
literally
be like a
like
whole team.
you literally
the
could,
entity.
Yeah, you literally could like
Off
get
of
these new
relationships
girls,
alone.
the new PR girls,
Yeah.
cause I'm gonna be honest, like since you and Nicole and like Saptosa, like
Ooh, Septosa.
I
Hey, girl.
haven't seen nobody like come up and really.
Well, I
get-
do have to give it to my girls, so I'm gonna shout out Theory Communications.
Okay.
My girl,
Okay,
Andrea
okay.
and Erica Hamilton.
Okay.
Like they're killing it. They came up like right as I was kind of exiting. They were like building their firm up, and I think they just celebrated 9 years.
Oh wow,
something
okay,
like that.
okay.
Theirs is different, by the way.
But even like LudaDay Weekend, I gave the blessing, like yes, like
You passed the baton.
yes, and even and it's funny how God will test you when you're trying to make a move. He'll dangle like little things to see if you're gonna go. So like right when I'm like I'm done with branded PR, I think a Hawks player was like, I need a publicist, and I'm like, ooh, sports lane. But then I'm like, no, I just knew that it wasn't for me, and passed the work on to other people. And even Tamiko Hope, amazing publicist. I've worked with so many in the city. I don't want to say too many names because I don't want to forget. But you know, like Theory Communications, my girl Tamiko Hope. There's a lot of publicists, you know, that are amazing. Angela Watts, who's killing it when it comes to fashion and bringing that fashion to Atlanta. Crystal Jordan Mims with Enchanted PR. You know, she's been working with TLC and also hosting and writing for Rolling Out. So there's a lot of great publicists in the city still. I think what's happened though, I think everything has, again, we talked about errors. I feel like this podcast episode is titled Errors because there was a PR era. There was an era where there were a lot of PR.
Where PR girls were the stars.
Yeah. And, you know, and now, I mean, we see it now on social media. There's the fitness crew or there's everyone doing like skincare or everyone doing real estate. Like, you know, there's different eras of things that are popular at the time.
Right now is the entrepreneurial spirit era.
Yeah, it is.
For sure.
So I do have a question for y'all that she kind of like alluded to. Did y'all ever feel like there was a moment in you all's career specifically where you kind of like made a pivot or a change and you were wondering like, damn, like are people gonna like? Well, you've been doing video for
but I have though.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, like for me, it's very much still pivoting because I'm still figuring it out.
Yeah.
So I pivot a lot, but specifically, I guess I can bring up working with Slutty Vegan. That was a really bad. That was a crazy pivot for me and for my client.
Y'all always are 3 years.
I was surely.
So tell me more because I don't know the backstory.
So we all met at Slutty Vegan.
Oh, okay, perfect.
We're on the marketing team there. That's kind of the reason or that's how we got here. But I do videography and the visuals there. I'm the visual director for Slutty Vegan.
Okay, awesome. Okay.
So when I first started working there, it was a pivot because
You had clients.
I had clients. I was full time, very much a freelance videographer. But then you come here and it's like, oh shit, I got to do work all the time. It's like an agency, like wow, 24/7, really.
One brand, one.
So I had to like become very picky with who it was that I worked with. Because I knew that I was going to be spending a lot of time here, and a lot of my clients didn't like that at all. I lost a lot of them. I kept a lot of them too, though. But that was a really crazy pivot for me.
But there's power in the pivot.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times we think we're going to lose, but then you gain not just, you know, building a brand or gaining financially, but you can gain peace, more balance in your life because it's not all work. You know, the older you get, you definitely
the less you want to do all of that shit.
Yeah, and even when you talked about, you know, branded PR, I just think about even managing folks. I'm like, child, I'm good just managing me right now. I love this life over here, you know, and I think, you know, it's enough sometimes to say I did that, I conquered it, and I can like go on to the next thing. And what you all are doing brand like Slutty Vegan. Shout out Pinky Cole, my girl Dora, and everybody that works over there. You know, you're building something that moves people culturally, and that's a stamp that you can take with you for the rest of your career. So whether you're here or you go on like to other things, you can always have that stamp. And you just said it earlier about the resume. It's a part of your resume that and no one can take away. And listen, it's a cultural phenomenon. So, you know, it's a great thing to be a part of and to have that propel you forward in whatever you decide to do next.
I think mine was more so like, it was like earlies, like right at 18. Like I was like in high school, people knew me. I had already been a DJ since my freshman year. So I went my freshman year. I was still an athlete. Like people knew me from soccer. But when I went to college, that year was the year that kind of like, it was make or break. You either gonna be an athlete or you gonna be a DJ. Yeah. And it was like, I got an opportunity, come back to Atlanta, stop my my whole soccer career and come back to Atlanta, go on my first tour, Interscope, and be with like Vistoso bosses. So like that was my first real pivot. Then I got back into like trying to make it work and do retail and get into corporate America. So I did that a long 7 years, but I was DJing my ass off. And I feel like those years was my grind. Like that was the money, like everything. I bought my house off of it. I left retail, and 3 days later, I went on tour, and I'm with Dej, and we're in Europe, and I'm on tour with Dej Loaf. And it's like to be a girl DJ, but to also be with a major girl artist, and we're both 25, and we're sitting in Europe in a Maybach. Like, this is it. Like, if you want to think like, dang, what's the height of my DJ career? At that moment, it was it. And we came back, and she got into her position of not wanting to be an artist and not wanting to be in that business. And so I had a duty to pay my bills. Right. And to have
time to pivot again.
And so the pivot came again. And so I feel like I had a time where I was like, I don't even want to DJ no more. And like, not so much that it wasn't for me, but like it wasn't going to be suffice to meet my needs. And it wasn't that girl DJs weren't in, or it wasn't that there weren't opportunities, because it probably could have been. I could have had a great publisher, I could have had a great manager, but at that time for me, I didn't see a place and a position for me, so I had to do it again. And like that kind of rose into like where we are today. Well, 3 years ago, like this time 3 years ago, and we were walking into a pandemic. We didn't know it was a pandemic, but we knew from a outsider looking in that Slutty Vegan was bigger than what it was at that moment. And I pitched myself, I think, same with D. We walked in that door that same day that we did not know. We thought we was just going to fly by. I in my head right now, I swear it was between 6 weeks, maybe 6 months, max. I was going to do 6 weeks, 6 months, give her some games, some gems, some fly. I'm going to be the young kid popping in here like, yo, you should do this, you should do that. 3 years later. But we still here. We still making it happen. And like, we get to say, you look at LudaDay and you like, man, that was me.
As long as you're living, you're going to continue to pivot, evolve, have different interests. Life circumstances change. If you have a partner, you have kids, you have a sick parent, whatever the case is, you're going to constantly make adjustments. But it's funny how things come full circle, though, and you realize in certain moments in life how all of those experiences prepare you for whatever that thing is.
So speaking of that, like I like that you said that as long as you're living, there's a pivot. What is next for the Cut Life? I know you said that there are that you have some things coming. Like what is the next? What's the next inception of what happens for the Cut Life?
Yes. Well, so a couple things. People have been asking me about products forever, but I wanted to figure out, and I was interested in it, but I wanted to figure out exactly how I wanted to enter that space. The liquid product game just wasn't for me. The stress levels that come with it, people don't really realize the behind the scenes of that.
Yeah, you got to be a chemist, basically.
Yeah,
you know what you're doing.
You got to be a scientist. So now Tahira, you a scientist.
Right. Okay. There's just so many moving parts, and I had to think about not only growing my business, but my lifestyle and what works for me where I'm at right now. But I do have some product coming, which I can say here. I'm getting into the hair accessories game.
Okay.
So I'll have some stuff for y'all, like silk scarves, bonnets,
Okay.
head
Yes.
wraps,
Love that.
things.
Okay.
Yes.
And I feel like it works because I love style, I love beauty, and it's a nice marriage between the two. Obviously here we're creating content right now, so my next baby is getting this YouTube channel where it needs to be. We have over 150,000 subscribers.
Oh, wow.
But I'm trying to really dive into more unique content because I've done a lot of shared content over the years, and I'm trying to, when you're on YouTube and you're watching like Vogue content behind the scenes and Harper's Bazaar.
Strictly
I want
for the cut life.
The cut life to do that, but for the culture.
Yeah.
Basically. That's where
Shit,
I'm at.
call us, guys.
Yes, because
Yeah,
I
all
see
of
it.
us. Fuck
I'm
yeah.
seeing it right
Me
now.
too.
I'm seeing it. I done already ideated like 4 different segments. Look, I got a couple of people, employees that I know that can do what they do that are already in the industry. But like, that's what it's all about. And I think that way with Crew Love, like, we are creatives. We go to sleep and wake up, eat, sleep, and everything else.
I love how you sat up on that where you're like, listen.
No, because we felt it. Look, we be getting them goosebumps, and I'm like, okay, the cut life. Okay, we know like
Look,
behind the
I see
scenes,
it in my
like
head.
the
Like, I see
vision,
the colors, everything.
And I need that because
so cute.
Brian, I'm not gonna age myself, and Brian's younger than me, but
We'll trade afterwards.
Yeah, but I will say, and maybe not by much, but we're of the same era.
Yes,
We'll say that. But I love this because I always love to be. I'm not one of those people that feels like I know it all and I've experienced it all. I love young energy and knowing like what your perspective is, what's hot, and that's what keeps me current and in the know of what's going on and what's trending. So I love those types of conversations and would love to have more conversations.
Absolutely.
Offline, because we can't give them all the juice.
No.
And another passion that I have actually is hosting. Like I have a podcast, but I also really want to take a dive at some like TV situation.
Okay.
I feel like I'm at a place where streaming offers so many opportunities for content. It's not limited anymore. So I mean, hair makeover show,
I
cut
see
competition, behind the scenes with the celebs and the stylists situation.
I love that.
Me
But
too.
you know what I'm hearing though is a little of your background. You might be on somebody's morning show with a little segment.
Ooh, I can
in
see that. That's
radio.
real cute.
And
it's
a
giving
little
like a short
syndication.
hair
a little cut
segment or
life.
something.
And like you might be cutting it, talk about,
Cut
whose
confidential.
hair. Yes,
Something
whose
real
hair.
cute. I can see that.
You got to think about it. Branded, syndicated.
Okay, but like she said, let's not give away all the sauce.
We're
We'll
gonna
like
do
cut,
that.
edit.
Absolutely. But
I need to know this without dropping names. I need to know like what's some horror stories and
horror stories or just
it could be any
beauty
industry,
or industry
all over the place. Like I know you got them.
Tahira got
I know you got them. Cause
okay. Do we want horror stories or do we want moments? Okay, let's do a little. We'll see what comes up because there's so much that my mind has to download. But I will say a moment that sticks out to me is being in Vision's nightclub.
Oh my God.
I was probably underage because when I first started going, I was like maybe 19. Got a fake ID. Thank you, Miss Shanika and LaToya Dixon for getting me in the club. I can say it now.
Do you see how she's implicating you guys?
And my first day there, I meet Alex Giddy one at the door, and we've been like homies ever since.
Wow.
But I remember being in the VIP where I had no business, and I don't want to lie because rappers be sensitive, but there was a rapper kind of like throwing money era, throwing money,
the make it rain,
the
make it rain era.
He was feeling like he was doing a little something. But then, if you know Vision's nightclub, the VIP is upstairs, and then the general pop is downstairs, so you can see across the room to the other VIP. The other VIP, BMF.
Oh gosh!
Starts the money showers.
Really making it right.
Completely
Over with now.
disrespected what said rapper was doing. And it was just
We should know
like,
the name.
oh, it's a situation. Like, it's really going down.
That
And
was a
also
fun
in
time.
Visions. Visions was a lot of fun. I miss
Yeah.
Visions.
It was fun.
But I remember Shanika was putting together a show. This was like before YouTube was really a thing.
Uh-huh.
And she wanted to, get on camera. And she wanted to have like co-hosts, and I forget the name of it, but she had myself and a friend of mine. This is how things come full circle, right?
Uh-huh.
She had us do interviews. There was an event that Hot was doing for Valentine's Day at Visions, and Twista was there, and T.I., and I was interviewing Twista,
Okay.
and my friend was interviewing T.I., and I don't know if she was just like so nervous. I'm not gonna say her name because she gonna hear this and be like, "Girl," but I don't know why she was so nervous. But when you're like interviewing someone and you're introducing them, she kind of was fumbling. But each time she would redo the intro while he's standing there, mind you, she's changing his name every single time. So first this is T.I., then it's T.I.P., then he's the king of the South,
Then it's
and then
Tip.
I fell out on the floor because she called him the Bankhead Ambassador. And I was like,
At least she
girl,
had him coming though.
Right.
At least she was able to keep up the
Yes.
train
Yes.
though.
Yes.
When
That's
I tell
Yes.
you, it was the most hilarious.
Yeah.
And needless to say, she didn't host a thing after that.
Oh,
But
That was the
it
first
was,
and
but it
last.
was great. It was hilarious. It was a great moment. I mean, to be honest, I think I've been fortunate to not have horrible
Horror,
situations
yeah.
with people. I think the most horrible thing would probably be having a 3-month contract with someone and they pay for 1 month and then you don't hear from them. ever
Oh,
again.
hell no.
That's
Right.
happened a couple times. But
Yeah.
I mean,
Here we go.
when the check stops, the PR stops. So,
Okay.
Hello?
Doom, doop, doop.
Bloop, bloop.
And some of those, if you heard of some of one of those clients ended up on a reality show that's pretty popular.
Oh, can we please?
And I was
Well,
like,
look.
I said, I watched it like, I can see why you ended up.
Can we
God bless you. God
Yes.
bless you.
I can only guess. I'm
Yeah,
imagining.
but I've been fortunate. I've been really fortunate. And not to have a somber note, but since we're talking about old Atlanta, I just want to give my respects while I'm on here to Clay Evans Jr., who recently passed,
Yeah.
and Michael Gidewan.
Yeah.
I mean, they are architects of Atlanta
Yeah.
culture, and I definitely want them mentioned. And we got to rep Atlanta wherever we
Yeah.
go. Those
I
that
was
are
so
here
sad for
and
his
those that are
kids.
gone. Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
it actually like
Yeah.
that was on one like my list. Like
Yeah.
it had always been a list. Like I was thinking like, dang, like what is this number in my phone? I could not think, and I'm like, dang, we should have Clay. And that was like on
Oh,
the show.
wow.
Like
But let me
on the
know,
list.
on the record, offline, however you want to talk it. Jason Jeter is a friend of mine, so he can give y'all some of the backstory.
Oh, he-
Okay, listen.
He just did a podcast and he
Yeah.
was talking that
Oh, well,
talk,
go
and
ahead
I was
and
sitting
bring
there
him.
looking. I was sitting there looking like, oh, he dropping some.
Yeah.
He's dropping some history. Like
I don't know if Hannah
yes.
get on no podcast. She probably like, hell no, but but yeah, definitely anyone I could plug in.
Well, Tahira, while we're on that note, though, tell the people where they can find you. We already know the Cut Life. We know. I mean, if you're not following the Cut Life,
You should have
already,
been like, what,
Yeah.
what are you doing?
You're
Why?
about 7 years
What
too
is
late.
wrong?
Yeah.
Please follow. We appreciate all of them. We're at 1.5. We can go to 2.
Yes.
Yes.
And 3.
We'll take
And
We'll
4.
take it all.
And 5.
The
But
check going up.
personally, you
it.
can follow me everywhere. Tahira Joy, Tahira Joy.
Yes. Thank you so much for coming to here. I love you so much. Like, we really have been knowing each other for a long ass time.
No, I love you too, Brian, and I'm forever proud of you. We ran into each other at the You People Netflix screening here in
word.
Atlanta, and it's crazy how the pandemic has taken like 2 years off of everyone's life.
Yeah.
I seen Tahira. I was like, Tahira, you got long hair.
Yeah.
On in the Cut Life.
Yeah, but it was like time stood still because the love was just still there, and that's why I always stress relationships and just being a good person.
Yeah.
Because it works.
Sure, gotta be.
Yes.
I have fun.
I have fun
Had
too.
fun too.
All right,
Y'all cool.
Well,
Much love on the the podcast dropping tomorrow.
Oh yeah, for
thank
sure.
you.
Yeah, I'm excited to catch
That
it.
wraps up our show, guys.
True Love Show.
You can probably edit
Bye,
that
bye, bye,
part
bye.
out.
Make sure you follow.
Yes, please follow us at True Love Show.
Yeah.
On everywhere.
Cool Love Show.
C to the R to
Okay,
the E to the W
content.
L U V show.